Good afternoon. Hey, it's Trish. I'm with Hip Homeschool Moms. Y'all know that. You're here with me. I'm here this afternoon with Nadim from CTC Math, and we are
Hey
going to
guys.
be discussing how to turn math tears into cheers. Hey, Nadim, how are you?
Very good, very good. It's awesome to be with you, and it's always great having a conversation with you, Trish. I know we go on for longer than normal, but
I
I'm excited.
know. I know. We're going to try to keep it to our scheduled time today. So first off, you have a very distinct accent. So we just go ahead and discuss your accent. So where are you? I do too. I'm in Tennessee. Just everybody knows.
I love the US accent. I'm in Sydney, in Australia, so all the way in Sydney. I'm a day ahead,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's the morning. I can tell you tonight's lotto results if you'd like them.
Hey, we might get some kind of deal going here. So the other question I have for you is it still warm there? You're warm there, right?
Say that again. Sorry.
Warm? Is it warm there?
Yeah. Yes.
You're
It
still
is.
summertime,
It's
or is it going into fall?
Well, yeah, going. Yep, and it's starting to cool down a little bit.
Okay.
So we've just come out of the summer. Yeah.
And we're just getting warm, so we're excited. Yay! I'm a summer girl. I'm from the beach. I'm from the coast of North Carolina. And so this cold weather this year has been horrendous. So I'm ready for some warm weather. So I've been a little jealous of you for a little while, but
Well, it's going to be a role reversal. So
I know.
come June, July, I'm going to be jealous of you.
So, okay, so we'll get to what we're here to talk about today. I love talking to Nadim. So, anyway, y'all catch that as we talk. One of the things we want to talk about today is why kids love CTC math. There's going to be another party in a future time that I'll tell y'all about that will be about why moms love CTC math. But today I really wanted to focus on why kids love it. So my first question is, let's talk about short lessons. I know that's a big deal for y'all. Can you explain the thought behind it and a little bit about the short lessons?
Yeah, super important. I think we really need to keep kids engaged, and sometimes a longer explanation is not necessarily a better one. It can overwhelm the kids, and it can become overcomplicated. And that's what we find. So short, simple, to the point, and that's best done by breaking up concepts as well. So, for instance, in CTC Math, the video tutorials are 5 minutes long on average. You know, some of the lower grades, K to 2 or 3 minutes. Upper grades, they have to be a little bit longer. And you break down concepts and you teach one concept at a time and focus on that one concept. But you really want to keep those kids engaged and focused and just deliver that point.
So one of the things that I know that y'all do is from a tutorial standpoint, you actually do try to engage them and you do take into consideration all their different learning styles. So your tutorials actually teach a concept differently, multiple ways, maybe is a better way to say that. Can you explain that?
Yes. I think we should probably start by saying that Pat Murray, the voice behind the program, the teacher, homeschooler himself,
lots of kids,
9 kids. Yeah, great bio page on our website about him. But what we were talking about, yes, different ways. So he teaches math he sticks to the traditional methods that have stood the test of time. That's really important. But even within the traditional methods, there's multiple methods of teaching one concept, and he'll address them separately in each video tutorial. So it might be a lesson, for instance, on 3-digit subtraction, and he'll focus on just random 3-digit subtraction, but then he'll focus in another lesson, in another video tutorial, on a specific problem, such as 100 minus 39, something like that, where there's a little bit more trading going on and borrowing.
Right.
If that makes sense. So yes, multiple methods are taught in in different video tutorials, and the students choose and pick. And Pat says it in the video tutorial: pick the method that works best for you.
Which I think is so brilliant. That's not something that any that I know of math curriculum approach math that way where there's multiple ways taught. And I think that's critical because that's one of the reasons why you see moms having such a hard time sometimes finding math curriculum is because it's not teaching to their child's style. Well, this kind of addresses that. Speaking of, one thing I really want to be sure that we cover is that this is all grades, right? You go from kindergarten all the way up, right?
Correct. K to 12. So, and you have access to all grades. So you have access to all lessons from all grades. You don't purchase when you register for CTC math. You don't select a specific grade. You don't say third grade. You have access to all those grade levels, and of course, math is a building block. And I'm amazed that no one else does this,
right?
Especially in the homeschool world.
Right.
I'm amazed that the other curriculums don't offer this. It is fundamental, especially when parents and families are moving from one to another. They're not all going to be aligned. They're not all going to be the same. You need, and children are going to have gaps. They're going to have gaps in their learning, and unless they're worked on, unless that solid foundation is there, there's going to be issues.
Right.
It's inevitable.
Right.
I was giving you an example yesterday. I was talking to a parent, and I was giving an example yesterday where the child will come up against it, will be taught a new concept and not understand it because that earlier concept was not taught to them. That building block, that prerequisite knowledge was not there. The child doesn't know that. Right. They just think that
they're not getting it.
Difficult. They're not getting it, and they lose confidence. And they go, "This math stuff's hard." And don't get me wrong, it's not a walk in the park, math, but it makes it that much more difficult when you don't have that sort of access to resources. And
so that means that if they're struggling with multiplication, for instance, because when you get into some of the higher functions of math, if their foundation in their multiplication tables is not solid, that is a concept that they might want to go back and review before they move into this higher level concept if they're struggling. And this gives them the luxury of going back and forth across all these different areas, right? To review and to bring their skill set up to par for a certain area.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
And assistance is provided there as well. So if there's a concept that a student's struggling with, we might recommend an earlier lesson. We might say, "Hey, have they done this lesson? Give this one a go. I know it's a grade below, but get that foundation right, and then come back and revisit that one."
So that brings up another question. Are they grade levels in there, or are they concepts in there? How does that line up? So if a mom, I know you offer placement tests, which is a really big deal because a lot of times moms don't know where to place their children into a math curriculum, and every math curriculum seems to be different. So talk about the placement, and then we'll talk about the rest.
Yep, great. Okay, so placement tests are vital. They're very important. They're a great diagnostic tool. Where we differ with placement tests is that we don't give students one placement test that takes half an hour and go, "Okay, you're in grade 4." Now, our placement tests are optional, I should say. So parents who have been using the program for a while don't use this and don't need to.
Right. It's just when you're jumping in, right? It's primarily when you're jumping in. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and it is optional. It is optional. Everything is optional. It's up to the parents are the primary educators. They know what's best. The tools are there. You pick what you need.
That's right.
We're always here for help and advice, but you guys are the primary educators, and we respect that. But back to the placement test. So we don't give a single placement test that goes for half an hour and say, "Right, your kid's in grade 3." Just start from the beginning. No problems. There's going to be gaps.
Right.
It's not going to identify every part of that foundation. It's not going to go over it with a fine-tooth comb, so to speak. So what we do is we have a diagnostic test for each and every topic. Typically in a grade level, there's 15 topics. There's about 15 topics.
Right.
They will complete the diagnostic test. It will test them on a range of lessons within that topic, and a report is produced. It's a fantastic report. And it will identify all the lessons or any lessons, that need review. And then you click into those lessons, complete the video tutorials, do the assessment questions, and then move on to the next diagnostic test. It's not going to take a day.
That's
It might,
fantastic.
it probably won't even take a week. But and depending on where the child is at is how long it will take. But say it takes it takes 2 to 3 weeks, which is about on average. If you break up, say three to 4 math lessons a day, okay, for 40 minutes. Say it takes 2 to 3 weeks. You have a comprehensive understanding of the concepts that your child needs to address, and they have been addressed. And then you can just move on to the next grade level and start from the beginning and work through the curriculum or the lesson order.
That's brilliant. That is very, very different from other curriculum. I'm glad you covered that in so much detail. So another thing that I think is so valuable, especially in today's world, is animation. I know that y'all use a lot of animation in your tutorials, and I think that's critical for today's world with kids and video games and everything. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we use a multi-sensory approach, which is great. The kids see and hear the lessons. It's fantastic watching a child view a video tutorial. Now, my eldest is only 4.5, but we've got her onto CTC math, and we've got her on some of the easier concepts, and you can literally see the aha moment in her face.
I'm addicted to those aha moments. Just so you know, that's what every homeschool mom loves, are those aha moments. So now you're figuring out why we love to homeschool.
Nothing gives me greater joy.
I know.
And hearing other parents tell us about the aha moment that they've just experienced with their children puts the biggest smile on my face and out on the team's face. We love it. We absolutely love it. So the multisensory approach just produces these amazing aha moments. And it comes down to, so we have the animations on screen. It's very important. It's like a digital whiteboard, so to speak. Like it's like a teacher using a board and delivering the concepts, and Pat's voice is in the background. You don't see Pat. It's purely the concept being taught on the screen.
So does Pat have an Australian accent too?
He does. Every time I speak to someone in Australia, they think but we're different. No, he definitely does.
I know he does. I'm just picking because I love listening to you talk. So of course I love listening to Pat talk. So of course I've used it, but I'm picking on you more than anything. And they need to know, if you like to hear Nadim talk, you're going to get an Australian guy talking to you.
Trish, I was just about to say, you stole my thunder.
I know. I'm sorry. Darn.
The third feature that makes the video tutorials so engaging is Pat's accent. So
I had no idea that was the third one, just so you know. Of course I had to steal your thunder. I didn't mean to, though.
No, I'm glad you...
So the animation part, that is, for me, I think that because kids love to play video games and everything is moving and going constantly now. If it's a dry, static, flipboard kind of thing, I don't think that kids engage with it, especially online. So they look at it as being old and dated.
And lame.
Yeah,
correct.
Exactly.
And for reassurance purposes, our questions are interactive and online. Mm-hmm. But we also have worksheets. So the traditional pen and paper style math is available. The questions come in both forms. Mm-hmm. They can do both as well. They can do a mixture of the both, or you can stick to interactive or pen and paper worksheets. So we recommend the worksheets. We recommend pen and paper math, and you input your answers into the system. Right.
Most moms don't do that, just so you know. We don't do that. We're just being honest, right? I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. So talk to me about all the different kinds of screens, because I know that's another piece of it, is that, Stephanie says, oh, I like the available worksheets. You have somebody here, Sarah Beth, who says, we love CTC math in our homeschool. Thank you, Sarah Beth. We're so glad to hear that. He said that puts a big smile on their face. You heard him. So share your aha moments. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to post your questions here and we will pop them on the screen and we will pick his brain. He's available to have his brain picked, right?
Please, please.
So anyway, let's get back to the screens, because I know today so many moms are using things like Chromebook and laptops and phones even to teach. So you now have, and I know this had to have been extraordinarily time consuming and complex, but tell us about now how it's available on all screens.
Yes, so CTC Math is available on any device. You just require an internet connection. So whether it's your laptop, your Android tablet, phone, it's available through a web browser via an internet connection. It was a mammoth effort that sort of happened behind the scenes.
I can't imagine.
Our program was originally in Flash as well. For most people who wouldn't know about it, sort of it gets a bit techie, but basically Flash is no longer supported.
That's right.
So we had to basically recreate everything
from the ground up almost, right? Because Flash was like how things were developed. It was the platform it was developed with. Yeah.
And think of rewriting your notes, but you're rewriting it on a different sized paper. So it wasn't a case of just rewriting, a mammoth task that just involved rewrite and copy. It involved some intellect to reconfigure and readjust. And it wasn't just a case of fitting it on the screen. You're teaching. You've got to do a good job teaching. Pat is very specific and very purposeful about the way he places things on the screen and delivers the video tutorial. It's what sets us apart from anyone else.
Right.
So there was a lot of work recreating all our content in HTML5. We started a couple of years back. As soon as we knew
it was coming. And
we're so grateful because I've seen, and I honestly feel for them. I've seen other programs who are struggling so much with this, and we know how much work was behind it. And I feel for them, but it's something that a lot of companies had to go through. And we're glad we're at the other end. We're in the process of developing an app.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it would be one of those apps where when you have an internet connection, you can download the video and then watch it later. Download the video tutorial or the questions and then watch it later. So you can use the program without an internet connection on the road or whatnot. A bit like a streaming service app.
That's fantastic.
Most streaming service apps.
Yep.
So
constantly innovating. That's another thing. I think that's really important to see is that y'all are innovating and you are bringing the new technologies and the new ways that people are using their computers and their screens and their phones, etc. Because that's exactly what the kids are doing too. So it's good that y'all are innovating.
Put it this way, if you don't, your video tutorials will look 20 years old and they will have the functionality of a 20-year-old program. So quickly.
Yeah.
You have to do it. You have to constantly be on top of it. Yep.
Okay, you do have a couple of questions. Let me pop them on the screen for you. Stephanie asks, how would this work with more than one child? Would you pay per child or once for everyone in the house? Great question, Stephanie.
It is fantastic. It's just one fee for your whole entire family. And we have a homeschool discount. Not sure. Maybe Trish, you can provide the link, but it's a half price discount. And your whole family for $148.50 are covered for 12 months.
Yes. And we will have the link. That will be part of as we get through the party coming up, we have several questions that we want you to answer. And as you answer those and comment, we will be doing random drawing. So be sure that you comment on all the questions as they come up. So, that's a great question, Stephanie. We have another one from Julie. Julie says, are the worksheet problems different from the interactive problems?
They can be. So there's the option there for you. So they're all drawn from a large bank of questions. The interactives are very random and they're adaptive in the learning. That's really neat. That is super, super neat. So if a child is struggling with a concept, the difficulty level drops. It's still assessing the same concept. It's still focusing on the same concept. But if the child is doing really, really well, the questions get progressively more difficult. With the worksheets, of course, it's set out, and they're set from easy to more challenging. But We have what's called the question bank wizard. I won't get caught up into it. I won't talk about it too much, but there's a great video on our website about it in the support section.
Okay.
And it allows parents, if they want, again, all the tools are there. You pick which ones you want to use. It allows parents to create custom worksheets based on a range of lessons, as many as they want, and they can really get into the nitty-gritty of things if they want to.
Which
selecting questions.
Moms might want to, kids might not, but you know how that goes, right? Okay, so if y'all have any more questions, please be sure to pop them in. Stephanie said, "Whoa," in response to your one price for a family. So thank you for that.
I think Pat gets it. Like having 9 kids of his own. Yeah.
Right. That helped. You know, when you walk in those shoes, you get it. So from a review standpoint and a testing standpoint, talk to me about that, because some parents are big into testing and want to know exactly where their kids are. So how does it work? Is it at the end of every chapter, every module, where do those reviews come in? How do they work?
Okay. Again, everything's optional. It's all available. You pick what you want to use. So at the end of each video tutorial, there's a set of exercises. They appear 10 questions at a time.
Okay.
Because they're drawn from a large bank, we suggest, if you're using CTC Math as your full curriculum, that the students take these 3 times, because the questions are adaptive. They're going to get more difficult over time. So typically 30 questions per video tutorial, per math concept. If you'd like, you can keep it to a 10, and you can go as much as you want.
My secret was always I did not do all of them. I usually did half of them. I did like the even or the odd. And if they got the concept, we moved forward. If they didn't get the concept, we didn't. We had to go back and study it and go deeper. And then we would go back and do the other ones. So that's just my little secret.
Yeah. No, I remember doing that as well growing up. I think. And then we also have the diagnostic tests, which can be used as a placement test, a pre-test, but they can also be used as a post-test. And they're
that's brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. And it's broken up into 3 different levels, a short, a standard, and a comprehensive, and they differ by the number of questions.
Wow. That is fantastic. I had not thought about that. That is interesting to use as a review at the end instead of as a pre. So that's smart. Now I'm thinking myself how I'm going to use that. Okay, so Christina asked, just tuning in, will this be posted online so I can watch from the beginning? Absolutely, Christina, it will be. And we actually will not be drawing our prizes for a couple of days going for the questions that are coming up. So y'all have plenty of time to come back and watch it and then go through the questions and answer all the fun questions that we have coming up. So Nadim, is there anything else that you think is critical for moms and dads to know that will take math into cheers instead of tears?
Yeah, I think the first thing is perseverance. Keep going, keep working at it. We're a great community, the homeschool community. We work together, we stick together, lean on the support, and persevere. Just remember that I am always encouraged and to see parents being the primary educators, really making it their initiative, their goal to bring up their children. And I think there's something very heroic about that. I think it can be a difficult world with a lot of pressures, but I think one of the most important things is we can do in our role in society is to raise our children.
I agree.
So that's awesome. Keep at it. There's support around you. Lean on it. Okay, and we're always here. Even if you're not using CTC Math, we're always here. So I appreciate that.
Don't you love that about them? Well, it's been good talking to you. We have questions coming up. They will start in about 5 minutes. So be sure to stick around and answer these questions. And we will have more conversations with Nadim coming in the next couple of months. Matter of fact, all year we'll be having conversations with him. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you, Trish. Thanks, everyone. I loved it.
Thank you. We will talk soon. Bye-bye.